Is your ego so big that it is keeping you righteously wrong?
So in this video we are going to show you that your ego is the biggest thing holding you back, and we're also going to challenge you to look at your life with this in mind.
Now don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps us out. It's time for another
Mindset Monday. Today we're asking you a question. Are you being righteously wrong?
I keep getting a song in my head, and it's by, what's her face? And the words are Too Right to Be Wrong, I think.
Too right to be wrong?
Oh, what's her name? Too right to be wrong. Or it's something like that, I don't know. It's a chick that sings it. Fairly recent as well. It's a kind of, oh fuck, what's her name again? It's like lounge music.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So, are you being righteously wrong? Now, I'll give you a couple of examples. One is a conversation I had with somebody who's quite close to me, and I can't remember if I've told this story before or not, but as soon as the conversation comes around your job, okay, now we are personal trainers, we help people lose weight, we get people into exercise and eating well, and as soon as the conversation turns that way, people start to make excuses for themselves. Oh, you know, oh, you're the personal trainer, and oh, right, okay, this, that, and the other, and you start to. So I'm completely distracted because Tilly seems to be.
Get on camera! Get on camera!
she think. Oh, what a wee shit! Oh, shit.
Do you remember, we actually used to get people asking us, guys, can you do a video of pooping in the woods? Well, there you are! We never said it would be us.
She's obviously struggling to get that out there.
Then, oh man, that stinks as well! Oh no.
So this all came about, I'm going to tell a little story here. I was having a conversation with somebody quite close to me, and as soon as the conversation goes around what we do for a living, this, that and other, people start to reflect on what they do in their own personal life. And this person close to me said, you know, well, I have no time to exercise. And I wasn't suggesting that they need to exercise, but it was like she obviously felt that she should, and that she didn't have the time. I said, okay, well, you know, that's fine. Sometimes it's not about having the time to exercise; it's about making the time to exercise. Now, that it could be an hour's workout. If you really don't have time, you can actually get away with a sort of 10 to 15 minute workout if you want to, you know. No, don't even have that. I don't have 10 to 15 minutes. I'm like, right, okay, well, and then you start to say, well, most people watch TV at some point in their life. You know, how much TV do you watch? Is it half an hour? Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? Oh, it's about an hour a day. I'm like, okay, well, there's some time that you could potentially exercise. And then, no, I want to do this and I want to do that. And anyway, the point being is, no matter what I said, she had an answer for me. And I got to the point that she was very righteous in her, she was standing strong, you know, and she was protecting her ego by saying, no, I don't have time to exercise. It doesn't matter what I said, she was right. She was righteous in her responses, and ultimately, in her head, she was winning that debate. But ultimately she was righteously wrong, but she would never ever stop saying what she was saying, because that would be giving in and admitting. But ultimately it was for her own benefit. You know, she was being righteous in her response, but it was to her own detriment. You know, I was trying to give her suggestions to help her. It wasn't to help me, it was to help her. So this is going to now spawn a conversation between the two of us. And you know, how many other times in your life have you been righteously wrong? And you know, we've got our own examples as well. My personal one was water intake. You know, people say you should drink 2 litres of water every single day, and or it might be 8 cups of water per day, or whatever it might be. Now, I read this article somewhere that's saying, well, you know, you you gain a lot of water intake from the fruit and vegetables that you eat. So that 2 litres might not actually have to be 2 litres, this, that and other. And this so-called expert that I was listening to, said, no, you get this from fruit and vegetables, this, that and other. So then I became a little bit righteous for about a 6-month period of my life, where I was like, no, and I'd almost tell people, you don't need 2 litres, or 1 litre is enough. And but then in doing so, I wasn't training as well, my energy was low, my moods were low, I was just dehydrated. But because I was righteously wrong in that particular topic. And after I decided, actually maybe I need to kind of rethink this one, I put my ego to one side, learn from it, and you move on.
Time I was righteously wrong. I had a summer job and I was working night shift at a factory, and I saw a sign when I was parking, and it was like, you were encouraged to park in the faraway car park and blah 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 blah. So I used to park in the faraway car park and walk. I mean, the car park was gigantic. Like literally, you were covering 2 or 3 football fields before you got to the building.
Oh really?
Or certainly walking across them, not the lengths of them. Massive car park. I mean, the building must have employed at least 1,000 people, maybe more, over various shifts. So you're walking across, and then the other people on my shift, because it was a much smaller shift at night, they all used to park right by the door, and I was like, oh, well, you're going to get in trouble for that, because the sign said you're going to get in trouble. And I used to speak to them on lunch break, and they used to say, Rabbi Fanny, why are you parking so far away? And I'm like, because the sign says it'll not be that when you get in trouble. And I was so righteous. I was like, I'm parking where I'm meant to, blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out, I had to come in on one day, I had to go in on the day shift to get something. I can't remember what it was, or maybe it was a meeting. And I was chatting with one of the people from HR. And they actually said, no, Rab, we actually need to have a word with you. You've been parking in the faraway car park. I was like, I know. And they said, no, for health and safety, we'd prefer if you park by the door, because there's only, in the car parks coming across, there was one like street lamp in between each section.
Okay.
And for health and safety reasons, they didn't want people walking in the dark that far. All right, so I was like, right, okay, because I guess the day shift would start at virtually daylight hours and finish in daylight hours, but the night shift, without a doubt, would be at night time, certainly at this time of year. So I was being so righteously, I was standing my ground. No, I'm parking when I should park, because I'm one of these people that likes to follow instructions, And I was like, no, I'm sticking to my guns and parking to my own detriment, miles away. So I had, like, don't get me wrong, I was getting probably 10,000 steps in every day, just going to and from the car. But again, I was righteously wrong.
I'm going to give you one more quick example, and this was me and my brother. We were always competitive when we were younger, and certain things that I was good at, certain things that he was good at, but ultimately he was my big brother and he was better at most things. Until I got a little bit older, fitness was my thing, and that was what was important. My brother is very clever, he's very technical minded, he does all this kind of wizardry stuff with computers and satellites.
Yeah, wizard Harry.
He's a wizard, Christopher. And so anyway, it soon became apparent that making money was his thing. Okay, I could not be competitive. So then I became righteous in my refusal of money. And I was like, nah, money doesn't mean anything to me. I'm more interested in health and fitness and well-being and happiness and my family, and money can't buy happiness. And I was very righteous in my dismissal of money. I was kind of like, nah. It was almost like I didn't care. And so this went on for years as well. And because I've been very righteous with it, it does start to basically structure your whole life. And you soon realise that opportunities that you may have taken up if you were interested in money, just kind of pass themselves by because you don't really take notice of them. And it's only after I became a little bit more mindful that I realised, actually I do care about money. You can still have health and happiness, you can still look after your family and everything else with a little bit more money in the bank too. And it's as soon as you admit that to yourself, you admit that you're being a little bit righteously wrong, that you can then start to advance your life and better yourself.
Other situations, now this is probably a little bit more serious, but Other situations where you can be righteously wrong tends to fall within, as Stephen's described, as family matters. Now sometimes there's family fallouts, and it's a little bit about being stubborn. You know, the person was so righteous at the time of the fallout, but then later realised that they were wrong. But they're still too damn righteous to ever come reconcile. You hear it all the time. I haven't spoken to my brother in X number of years, not me personally, but you hear these stories, and you're like, why? Oh, we had a fallout. And when you talk it through, it's like, well, why have you never made up? Oh, I'm too stubborn to call him. You're like, all right, so you're still too righteous
but basically,
to admit you're wrong.
And this all comes back to the ego. It's the ego, just because you were wrong or whatever. And no, I want him to apologise first. Like, well, you know, put your ego to one side and go and bloody speak to your brother. Tilly, stop that.
It's that way now. I've thrown it already, darling.
So for this video, your action points, we would like you to think about your own life. It might be about your health and fitness. I don't have time to exercise, or I'm not fit enough, and you might be very righteous, and maybe you've got a disability, maybe you've got, you know,
or you've had a knee injury or a hip injury in the past, and you can't do squats because of your knee injury. But
and maybe you tell everybody about these injuries and these woes that you have, and you're very righteous and I'd love to be in better shape, but I can't because of this and this. And you can become very righteous in these responses. So have a think about your own life and think what am I being righteous about? It might not be health and fitness related. It might just be your personal life. It could be something to do with your family. It could be a job, whatever it might be. Are you too far up your own ego to realise you're being righteously wrong?
I'm still going to remember the name of that Beck singer. Is it Analyse something?
I think we should make our own song up. Are you being righteously wrong?
Righteously
wrong.
Righteously.
This is the Kilted Coaches.